Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Unhinged and Undocumented. I'm Jimbo, the big man. With me is my co-host.
I'm Cody.
I'm Rafe.
I'm Cruz.
And we are Unhinged and Undocumented. Basically, guys, we're going to be talking about everything sports can offer, from football all the way to wrestling. Hell, we might even throw golf in every now and then. Highly unlikely, but you know. A little bit about us. I'm Jimbo, devoted Dallas Cowboys fan, diehard Longhorns fan. Played football a good chunk of my life. Played baseball for even longer. And if you can believe it, I even played basketball one time. Hashtag 2 minutes, 2 points, and 1 assist. What you know about that? Pretty much, we're going to be covering everything. So I'm going to hand it off to one of my co-hosts, and they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves.
I'm Cody. I'm obviously a twin to this dweeb. I mostly watch football. I like a lot of UFC. I watch basketball every now and then, a little bit of baseball. But majority of what I like to watch is football and UFC. So those are probably going to be my main points when it comes to this. I'm excited to get this thing going, and with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rafe.
Hi guys, I'm Rafe. Married, have a 2-year-old. We are actually. I'm a big, huge Cowboys fan. I'm a huge Dallas Stars fan, who are currently in the playoffs. Go Stars! I am also a World Series champion Texas Rangers fan. And I'm pretty much, I know a little bit about most sports, but my most knowledgeable is in baseball and football. But I also do watch basketball, hockey, just because it's during the off season of football, and I have not shit else to talk about. But I mean, other than that, video games, basically anything under the sun. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Boy Cruz.
Well, let me talk to you. Yes, I am Cruz. I will be the wrestling expert among this group of misfits here.
What?
What? So yeah, I'll be the wrestling video game expert when these guys need some questions answered. I'll be the one to provide it. I'll also kind of jump in with football every once in a while as much as I can. Very limited knowledge on that, but I'll do the best I can. And if you don't like that, we got 2 words for you.
So good.
There it is.
Right words, right? Hey, don't let this guy be modest, okay? I got him into fantasy football like 4 years ago, and he's pretty good.
Kicks my ass every year, and I watch football religiously. So is that.
The Twin Magic here playing as well, but we all know who the king is, right? We know who the king is. Yeah. No,
I got somewhere you can put that.
Awesome. Well, like I said, we just wanted to introduce ourselves, tell a little bit about ourselves and the podcast that we're going to be doing. Basically, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time and just never jumped off the ground with it because didn't know how. But then my boy Cruz here told the twins here, and hell, it's something we're all passionate about. We all, we're fans of the game, as you can tell. We're fans of wrestling too. Me and Cruz here, we went to WrestleMania in Dallas a couple years back, which is probably one of the greatest things of my life. And then, and then we headline, and then we went to the Royal Rumble as well in Houston before COVID got bad. And
when Edge
saw the
returned.
return of one of the returns of one of the greatest superstars of all time.
That's just a return right there.
There's just no better way to describe it than to get on and talk about it and whatnot, and that's what this is gonna be. So just want to bounce a couple questions off of my fellow co-hosts and whatnot really quick just to get there, so everybody has a feel for us and whatnot. So fellas, what made y'all want to do this with me?
So I don't know. I guess whenever we had first mentioned it, I personally, so a little thing about me, which I'm a jackass because I got student loans for going to school to be a sportscaster. I did it for all of about 2 months, and then I couldn't handle working full time and doing that because obviously I had to pay my bills, and that was the only way to pay my bills is to work full time because I was living by myself. So, with that being said, I was very passionate about wanting to do that. And at the time, all I had was an Xbox. I didn't have PC. I didn't have the means to do any type of editing or things like that. All I had was my iPad I got from the school, and that was it. So now that I have, my PC, I'm able to do the editing. Able to do these things. And not only that, but streaming, between Twitch, Kick, whatever, that alone also helps as far as it helps with getting yourself out there, number one. Number two, it also helps with like being able to conversate with people that you've never even met before. Right. So
No.
And that's what it's about. It's all about networking. So when it comes to YouTube, Twitch, I mean, any type of podcast, anything you do, if you don't network, you're never going to see anything as far as progress. So you have to make sure you're networking. And that's one of the things that whenever I did the podcasting school, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a sportscaster. I wanted to be, eventually be one of the, honestly, I didn't even want to be on NFL or ESPN. I wanted to go work for the Dallas Cowboys and be one of their main analysts and do that. But obviously didn't work out that way, but I'm excited to get this thing rolling with these guys, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Rafe, what about you, man?
I honestly see this as a big opportunity, not just for us, but anybody else that wants to, come in and contribute every now and then. I mean, it's a good way to get noticed. All it takes is one TikTok video. It takes one YouTube video. That's all it takes. I mean, you post one funny clip and you blow up with 2 million views, and next thing you know, you're fucking TikTok famous.
Like this guy. What's up, brother?
You see that?
Like legit. I mean, there's just so much room to grow, and there's so much room for opportunity in doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
It may take 2 years, it may take 5 years, but eventually something's gonna happen, and this is something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to make money and monetize by doing something like this because it gives me time with my friends, my family, and it also will have, let me have more time at home with my family at home. And that's one of my main goals is I don't want to work my life away. Nobody wants to.
Nah.
So, this honestly, it's a great opportunity for me. It's a great opportunity for everybody. And like I said, whether it's somebody coming on as a guest, whatever the case, but that's really my main goal with this is to just kind of branch and grow and help not only us but others as well.
Absolutely. Cruz, what about you, man? I know you're a little bit on the far side of the sports spectrum because I know one of the biggest reasons I got introduced to sports was because of me. Because I always invited you over to watch football or to to go to the football games at the high school stadium with me and whatnot. But what about you, man? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm like on a whole different side of the spectrum on this. So for those listening, I was one of the ones that pitched the idea, but the original idea was for these three to do it. But they wanted me involved in some way, and I would have been fine just doing it like behind the scenes or something. They're like, no, we need you on camera, and we'll figure out something for you to do. I was like, all right. So we were spitballing ideas, and they were like, what if we have you talk about wrestling? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Because again, just like Cody and Jimbo and Rafe, I'm passionate about wrestling. I've been watching since probably the first episode of SmackDown, which was way back in 91, 92. I don't even remember. And I've been watching ever since, and branched out from there. Watched WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, AEW, a little bit of New Japan, some of the indie stuff. So yeah, and like Cody said, it's all about networking, and if it takes us 1, 2, 3 years, however long this takes, I can see this thing blowing up, and we'll just grow, and adapt as we go along with this. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. There's one thing I want to
No
note
doubt.
about Cruz. I would pit him up against anybody in the world who thinks they know something about wrestling. I'm willing to bet this guy right down here knows more than you do about wrestling.
Oh, 100%.
Probably.
He points out facts that I've long forgotten, or facts that I
It's just keeping up with the announcers.
This dude
100%.
eats, shits, and sleeps wrestling. Like,
Pretty much.
And honestly, this is why, like, the 2 events that I've been to over the past couple years, he's been the one that I've taken with me, because I got back into wrestling after I moved out to Sealy, where I met Cruz and when I met the twins and whatnot. And then I found out that Cruz loves wrestling so much, and we went to WrestleMania. We went to the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
I mean, hell, we didn't even know it, but we both went to the same WrestleMania.
Yeah, with the
We
WrestleMania
didn't even know we were both there.
25th anniversary.
We
Yep.
both had that one. So,
That was a pretty high one.
Yeah, ultimately, like the guy said, and this. A lot of people may see this and think, oh, just another sports cast and whatnot, just a bunch of people talking about sports and this and that. And honestly, yeah, that's what it is. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about it. The main reason we're going to talk about it is because we're passionate about it. We love sport. This is you'll see it in our title and whatnot when you see our podcast title. We're just 4 friends talking about things we're passionate about. Hell, I love football. I have loved football ever since I could comprehend it watching it with my dad. I played it for so long, even wanted to try to be a pro someday, but unfortunately, just the injuries racked up and didn't happen. I enjoy watching it. At some point in my life, I'd like to look at getting into coaching, but I feel like I'd be a tyrant.
and I'm about to put a can of worms. He loves Carson Wentz.
God.
Some of the things that we're passionate about on our on our premiere episode.
Indeed.
But don't worry,
Y'all about to see a lot of passion about that.
Oh yes, you are. Oh yes, you are. So much so.
I have opened up the can of worms.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm hoping that this takes off for all of us. Networking wise, getting our names out there, getting our podcasting out there. But like I said, ultimately, what this is this. We're just 4 friends talking about stuff we're passionate about. The guy, Cody's into UFC and stuff like that, whatnot. Rafe's into baseball. Cruz is into wrestling. I'm into football. The 3 of us share. I know Cruz is a little bit on that side and whatnot. He gives me hell about it, but the 3 of us share the main passion, and that's the Dallas Cowboys and the Texas Longhorns. We're just passionate. There's just things that we're passionate about. It'd be cool to talk about. And if y'all got questions, y'all want to know, we're not just gonna cover the teams we like. That's the thing that this is gonna be cool about this show. We're not gonna be biased. Well, that's not true. Of course, we're gonna be biased
To a certain extent. To a certain extent, they will be biased.
We're Cowboys fans. Of course, this is our year.
Exactly.
There you go.
He took it from me perfectly. We're Cowboys fans. Of course, this is our year.
And also,
there's our first video right there.
But honestly, we're going to discuss everything, man. We're going to talk about every team. We're not just going to zero in on one, because there's so many things we're passionate about in every sports front. I mean, I'm not big on basketball, but I do follow it because of my San Antonio Spurs. One of the greatest teams of the 2000 era, the early 2000 eras. I don't care what anybody says. Hashtag Mr. Fundamentals, Tim Duncan. Greatest power forward of all time. But yeah, I'm excited about this. I know they're excited about it. If y'all got any questions y'all want to ask, anything y'all want us to talk about, put it in the comment section. Ask your questions. We'll talk about your questions. We'll talk about the comments. We're going to cover everything. I don't think there's anything we're not going to cover. Shit, we might cover cricket. All right.
I mean, yes, that's a sport. It's a sport. It's a British sport, but
Hey,
pretty sure we can figure it out.
Rafe, I saw you looking at me like that. I hear cricket can be pretty violent.
I'm good.
Now, if we're gonna cover violence sport, we gotta cover rugby at that point.
That'd be cool. Well, we just wanted to, hop on here, give y'all a little intro, let y'all know, when we're who we are, what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be airing a new podcast every week on Saturdays, or possibly we'll probably be airing it on Sunday. We'll do our recordings on Saturdays, and then at some point, once we get the ball rolling, we'll probably go live every now and then. Have to talk with the technical team over here and whatnot. Make sure we got everything in order. But
and when we do go live, we'll be live on multiple platforms. It won't be just one. So whatever you prefer watching on, we'll have it there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got. Anybody got anything they want to add?
I think we're good.
I do get one thing. We will also be having guests on the show at some point.
Absolutely.
And don't be afraid if you're in the comment section. Don't be afraid to put a comment. We'll see it and be like, hey, there's a topic I want to talk about. We can maybe bring you on the show. We can talk about it. We can debate it. Whatever.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The one thing for sure, there's going to be a lot of loud talking on this podcast.
There's going
to be a lot of loud talking. Hell, there's even going to be some arguing sometimes. But exactly like Cody said, if you got something you want to talk about, drop it in the comments. Let us know. We'll get you on the show. Just like, hey, what do you want to talk about? Well, that's all I got. Rafe, Cruz, y'all got anything for our listeners?
I'm good.
I don't think I got anything. I think if we're going to do any live events for anybody watching or listening, I think we might have some stuff planned out. I think we'll do the beginning of football season. I know we threw out the idea of doing live drafts for our fantasy league.
Oh yeah.
I think we'll do that. We'll do some stuff for maybe some of the wrestling events. Yeah. So just keep your eyes peeled and keep the notifications on, and we'll let you know.
And what we'll do is I will put notifications or little trailers, if you will, out there on TikTok. We will put the link in the description below to all of our channels. If there's nothing on there yet, fine. There will be things on there. But yeah, I'm super excited to get this thing going, and there's nobody else that I'd rather do this with, because we're all just a bunch of goofy motherfuckers.
Oh no doubt.
That's true. Can't argue with that.
Facts.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up right there. Again, we just want to introduce ourselves again for Unhinged and Undocumented. I'm the big guy.
I'm Cody.
I'm Rafe.
I'm Cruz.
And we'll see you on our next show.
Peace.
Peace.